everyone, Jen Holt here at Inspired by Purpose to bring you your pose of the day. So today's pose is called Upavista Konasana, or wide-legged forward fold. In the Yen tradition, it's also called either Straddle or Dragonfly, and there's lots of options and variations, so I'll go over those with you. Let's start seated. This is a seated posture, so we're working on flexibility. And we're gonna come into a seat and extend the legs out front. Now what you might start to notice here is if you're able to get the legs out straight and keep the shoulders over the hips. If not, if you find yourself leaning back and you're not able to come here with the shoulders stacked, then I recommend having a little bit of something to prop up your hips. I'm using a folded blanket. You could be using a block, you could be using a pillow. It could be much bigger or taller than what I'm using. The goal here is to be able to tilt the pelvis. So when we're going into forward folds, we don't want the pelvis tilting back. So you don't want to feel as though the top of your pelvis is lifting and you're rolling on to the tailbone. When we go into our forward folds, the pelvis should be tilting forward. So the tailbone is going back, the top of the pelvis is coming forward. So our blanket or our prop can help us find that little bit of tilt so that we can come into a little bit of a forward fold. So you don't want to be sitting back on your prop, then you're just gonna be here. What you want to do is come forward. So think about using your prop to lift your tailbone up and create that little bit of tilt through the pelvis as much as you can find it today. Now this is a wide-legged forward fold. So once we found that, we're going to start to open the feet up a little bit wider. It could be a lot wider. You choose the distance between your feet that feels appropriate for you today in this moment. So there are several different variations of this pose. In our more active practice, it's more traditional to strongly flex toes towards the face, and that activates the legs. Toes are pointed up, knees are pointed up, toes flexing strongly, and we're sitting tall. Then you work on folding forward with that long, tall spine. So let me show you the side view here. So you'll notice as I'm coming in, I'm keeping that long spine and walking the hands forward any amount. You may not be here, you may be here or here or here. It may be enough just to get the pelvis tilted and shoulders over the hips. That may be where you land today. Now, if you have very tight hamstrings, you might need a little softness, a little bend to the knee, and you could even prop yourself up a little bit here. You can use yoga blocks, or at home, a great thing to have is a little folded blanket. You can roll it up and roll that under the knees, and it just helps give you a little bit more support if you're not able to get the legs straight, or if when the legs are straight, you feel the hamstrings or the backs of the legs really burning here. Now, if we are in our Yen practice, the pose looks and feels a little bit different. So in our Yen practice, the legs still come out wide, but rather than working on strongly flexing toes, we relax the legs. So the toes fall away. You allow everything from the hips to the feet to just rest. And you might take a few moments here just finding a little bit of ease. Now in our Yen practice, when we fold forward, it's more traditional to round the back and allow the top of the head to dip down. You can use support. Yoga blocks work great, yoga blocks and hands. whatever you need. Sometimes having a little bit of support, rest under the head can be helpful. But I will say for some of us, if you have low back stuff going on, you might want to come in with a flat back, even in the yen variation, because when we come in with a flat back, we tend to use a little bit more core engagement. The spine is a little bit more supported. When we round, there's a little bit more pressure there. So if you're having low back pain, keep the back pretty straight and support yourself with your hands or props. In the yen variation, you can hold for several minutes and you can just soften the body into it. In the more active variation, because it's stronger, we don't hold it as long. So you might start with maybe 3 to 5 breaths, and then if you want to hold for a little bit longer, you can choose to do that for yourself. So that was our pose today, Upavista Konasana, wide-legged forward fold, also known as Straddle and Dragonfly in the yen tradition. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you have any questions, please drop us a comment and let us know. Hope to see you in center or online very soon. Take good care of yourselves.